Deep in Egypt, a story unfolds. A story of faith, courage and liberation. God chose Moses, a Hebrew man, for a special mission. Moses had to confront Pharaoh, the powerful ruler of Egypt. He demanded the release of the Israelites, God's people held captive as slaves. To prove his divine authority, Moses' staff transformed into a snake. Pharaoh, though, remained unmoved. Pharaoh scoffed. He refused to free the Israelites. His heart hardened. Pharaoh challenged God's power. This defiance would bring terrible consequences. God would unleash 10 devastating plagues upon Egypt. Each plague demonstrated God's control over nature and Pharaoh's stubbornness. The first plague struck at the heart of Egypt. The life-giving Nile River transformed into blood. Fish died, the water reeked, and Egyptians couldn't drink from their sacred river. Even Pharaoh's magicians replicated the miracle, hardening his heart further. He dismissed it as mere magic, not divine power. The plagues worsened. Hordes of frogs swarmed Egypt, invading homes and even Pharaoh's palace. Next, gnats, tiny biting insects, filled the air, tormenting Egyptians and their livestock. Flies followed, swarming everywhere, a buzzing, biting nuisance driving people to despair. Still, Pharaoh wouldn't relent. Section 5. Pestilence and Pain. The plagues grew more severe. Disease ravaged Egyptian livestock while the Israelites remained untouched. Then painful boils covered the Egyptians, causing suffering and misery. Pharaoh, though, remained unmoved by his people's agony. His heart remained hardened, his will unbent. Section 6. Hail and locusts, the wrath of nature. The heavens unleashed fury upon Egypt. First, a devastating hailstorm, unlike any seen before, destroyed crops and buildings. Then, hordes of locusts descended, devouring any remaining vegetation. Egypt faced famine. Pharaoh, facing ruin, almost relented. But once the plague passed, he refused to free God's people. Section 7. Darkness descends. A terrifying darkness, thick and suffocating, enveloped Egypt for 3 days. People couldn't see. Fear gripped their hearts. The Israelites, though, experienced light in their homes. Pharaoh, shaken, offered a compromise. He'd let the Israelites go, but not their livestock. Moses refused. All of God's people must be freed. Section 8. The night of the Passover, God's final plague, the most devastating, approached. He would pass through Egypt, taking the firstborn of every household. But God offered a way out for the Israelites. They were to sacrifice a lamb and mark their doorposts with its blood. This was the first Passover, a sign of protection and a promise of redemption. Section 9. Freedom's Dawn. As darkness lifted, a great cry arose from Egypt. Pharaoh's son, the firstborn of Egypt, was dead. Heartbroken and terrified, Pharaoh finally relented. The Israelites were free to go. They left Egypt, carrying their meager belongings and the hope of a new life. The Exodus, a testament to faith and liberation, had begun.